I'm going to offend some people with this. The advice you've been hearing is making you weaker. All this online crap with diet hacks, fads, and all this hustle culture is just making you weaker. And I have found the answer to making you into the person that you want to be. And that is to be younger, is to fix your biological age. That, for a successful, but maybe stuck in their health, stuck in their mindset entrepreneur, that is the cheat code to unlocking true wealth and absolutely being younger, being happier, and ultimately richer. Because at the end of the day, it's about having it all the strength, all the energy, all the power to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with who you want. And that's what I'm trying to do. So listen to this episode. This will give you some of the things you can do to get started in getting that body, that mind to be younger and healthier than it's ever been before. Welcome back to the Carnivore Entrepreneur Show. I'm your host, Grant Hutchby, aka the Carnivore Entrepreneur, and I help successful but stuck entrepreneurs reduce their biological age by up to 15 years and ultimately reclaim their strength, their energy, and their power to live life on their terms. Let's get on with the show. So I want to give you a few things today that are going to be really simple to implement and stuff that can absolutely change your life, how you feel, and put you on the trajectory to being younger, happier, and richer, and living life on your terms at the end of the day. So the first thing is, back in 2017, I had a really bad back injury. But before then, I was a fully qualified personal trainer, sports injury therapist, but I was eating 6 meals a day, training at least 5 or 6 times a week, really hard, sort of over an hour of training, running 10Ks, a couple 10Ks a week. And I was feeling really burnt out. I was in a corporate job at the time, feeling really burnt out, not getting the results that I wanted to get, both in my body and my bank account. And I felt like I was chasing a purpose in life, felt like I was chasing something that I hadn't quite found yet. And I think that might be you too. The first thing that you need to get right with diet and exercise is, if you can't grow it or kill it, don't eat it. Okay, need to eat as close to the ground as you possibly can. And protein mainly should come from meat, hence the carnivore entrepreneur. Obviously, there's other ways of getting protein in that isn't meat, but the most efficient way and the most nutritious way, scientifically, is to get it through meat. So get your protein in. If you can't grow it or kill it, don't eat it. That's number one. Number two is train for strength. Go to the gym to build muscle, okay? And you don't need to spend more than an hour and a half a week in the gym. This is just training with intensity, making sure that you train with a weight that you can get a good technique with, and that you train to a way of failure that you warm up the muscles, you get the muscles pumped, full of blood and all the rest of it. But the main thing is that you're pushing it to failure with good technique so that you don't risk injury. And then progressively overload that weight over time. You don't need to do more than 1 or 2 working sets per exercise, and your training sessions shouldn't last more than half an hour. And to give your body time to heal, and that's the next point I'm going to talk about, to give your body time to heal is you just need to rest in between workouts. Give your muscles at least 72 hours per muscle group to rest, which is 3 days essentially. So you could do a full body workout or full upper body workout on a Monday, do a lower body on a Wednesday, and another upper body on a Friday. That gives you 3 days in between. And then you can just sort of rotate, go to legs again, and then day later go to upper body. How do you want to do it? Or you can do push, pull, legs, and just rotate it that way. But the main thing is muscle groups just need at least 3 days rest in between. You may need more, and Some people might be able to do it in less, but typically the minimum is 3 days, 72 hours. So the next thing that I touched on is recovery. And recovery comes in lots of ways. Getting your recovery right is vitally important to not only having a healthy body, but also having a healthy mind as well, and feeling younger and stronger and happier at the end of the day. And imagine if you felt younger and you were happier in yourself and your body was thriving and your mind was thriving, your bank account has got to improve. Like it's the next result, it's got to make your bank account better. So this is why I've got a fundamental focus on being younger, being stronger, being happier. And that is where I think the key to unlocking true wealth is. So recovery. Recovery is all about time between resting your muscles and fueling that with the right amount of protein so that they can grow and repair. And the other part of it is sleep, getting great quality sleep. And I've got frameworks for all of these, which are available to download. Feel free to go to bookresources.thecarnivoreentrepreneur.com. It'll be in the show notes. But the frameworks in there will show you the stuff that you need to do with regards to your diet and your eating and your protein. It will also show you the stuff that you need to do to rest, recover, and reload. But it would also give you the strategies behind building the habits that you need to be able to be younger. And think about this. If we can all live longer, be happier, and be richer, the world will be a much, much better place, and we can be better human beings for other human beings. So again, feel free to download this stuff. It's all in the toolkit. So I'll give away a lot of free stuff. There's some paid stuff that you can get as well. But yeah, just put your details in and we can get you all of that stuff straight away. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was structure and simplicity. So our core values here at the Carnivore Entrepreneur and the key to building consistency is having structure and simplicity, which then gives you the consistency. And there are 3 core values, and that's what we try and apply to everything that we do here and what I try and apply to everything that I do. So keeping it simple is just about having a really clear step-by-step process on what to do. And it's not overly complicated. The structure, again, with the step-by-step process, the structure gives us something to focus on so that it allows us to keep it consistent. And one thing I want to point out is that volume, not just in the gym, but in your work as well, and in other stuff that you do, volume doesn't equal progress. It's the quality of what you do. The saying has always been there, quality over quantity, but it really does work. Now, you do need to put a quantity in, but you want to make sure that that quantity has quality. And every human being has a certain level of quantity that they can deliver at the highest possible quality. And you've got to manage your energy. You've got to make sure that you go to the gym at the right time so that you get the most out of the gym. You've got to make sure that you work at the right times and for the right length as well. So strength session, gym sessions, if you're training to proper failure, 1 to 2 sets per exercise, shouldn't take you more than half an hour, 40 minutes maximum if you're having a decent rest in between your exercises. So there is an amount of rest that comes with strength training. So between exercises, you're going to want to be resting between 90 seconds and 3 minutes, depending on how taxing the exercise was. Compound exercises are going to be much more taxing than isolated exercises. And also from a work perspective, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have work blocks, and you want to make sure that you don't extend these work blocks too far so that your productivity depreciates. Actually, if you want to get a lot of volume of work in, a lot of highly productive work, what you want to make sure is that you understand what your maximum capacity of working is. Now, I've done this analysis on myself, and my maximum capacity is 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So I usually put 1.5 hour blocks in with at least half an hour breaks in between. So I'll have a block at the beginning of the day of an hour and a half, which is totally undisturbed, which is for my highest value work that I possibly can do. And that's right at the beginning of the day. And then in the middle of the day is sort of where I leave my calendar open so that people can book calls and I can have really high value conversations with people, whether that be for new high ticket clients or whether that be with key conversations with the people that work closest to me in my direct team. So that's where I keep that block free. So that's all free for calls. And then I'll never have a call that is longer than an hour, so I can have a break in between as well. And then sometimes when I want to do a lot more work and I want to get some more work in, I will put in an hour and a half block sort of nearer the end of the day, maybe 4 to 5 or 5 to 6:30, hour and a half block where I know that I'm going to be doing other high value tasks, but maybe not as high value as the tasks that I do in the beginning of the day. But I make sure that that block is after I've had a good break, I've eaten, I've gone out for a walk, I've meditated, and I've really recharged my battery so that that last hour and a half that I do at the end of the day is going to be really, really productive and I'm going to get a lot out of it. So hopefully that's given you a little bit of an idea of why I believe that volume doesn't equal progress and how you need to make sure that you know exactly where you're going to get your most productive work done, both at work as an entrepreneur and in the gym. And this is where burnout doesn't equal honor, right? This badge of working 100-hour weeks and all the rest of it. I know there's people out there that are super duper rich and they hang their hat on the fact that they've worked loads of hours, but you don't know what's going on in their head. You don't know what's going on in their life. I want balance and I want to feel like I'm giving back to my family, that I've got a great circle of friends, that my body is going to last forever, right? And that doesn't mean that I'm never going to die, okay? I know that death is there. However, I want to live a healthy and happy lifestyle for as long as possible. And you don't get to do that by burnout. Yeah, working 100-hour weeks is going to make you rich, okay? But there are ways of getting the money that you need while not sacrificing your health, your happiness, your longevity, your health span. And what I'm trying to say is that you can have it all. You can be younger. Your body can be really healthy. You can be happy. Your mind can be in a really great place and you can be really clear and really purpose driven and be peaceful. Have that peace in your mind that you need to be able to live longer. Because living longer isn't just about having a healthy body, it's about having a healthy mind as well. That's where dementia comes from. Dementia comes from not having a healthy mind. You can have really fit, thin, healthy people that get dementia because their mind isn't in the right place. We need to feed our minds as well as our bodies. We need to exercise our minds as well as our bodies and give it what it needs. Give it the rest, give it the input and the recovery that it needs, both in our body and our mind. As I said, that will transpire into a great bank account. And what I'm saying here, sorry if I'm repeating myself, is you can have it all. You can have all the energy, all the power, all the strength that you ever wanted. Be younger, be happier, and be richer, and have it all. So just to finish off the point, that rest both in the gym and your health and in your business is just as important as the work that you do. It is not a luxury. It's a requirement. So just remember that recovery is just as important as the work that you do. The rest and recovery part is just as important as the work you do in the gym and in your work as an entrepreneur. So rest and recovery builds the power that you need. So be true to yourself. Ask yourself this question. I've got a question for you. What advice have you been listening to that is making you worse, not better? Think about that. What advice have you been listening to that's making you worse, not better? Or maybe some advice that you listened to in the past that is good to remember, because then you won't fall back into that trap. Maybe you subconsciously got out of it. So just to recap then, train hard, no more than an hour and a half a week, 30-minute sessions a time. Make sure that you eat enough protein. If you can't grow it or kill it, don't eat it. Make sure that you get enough rest in between training sessions and also enough rest between work blocks. Understand what your work blocks are and how long you can work for without losing productivity. And then make sure that you build a really good sleep routine as part of your recovery. So give yourself enough rest and recovery in between, but also make sure that you build a really good sleep routine so that is a massive focus of you. And like I said, the toolkits are there. Download the toolkits, bookresources.thecarnivoreentrepreneur.com, and get started now. Be younger, be happier, be richer, and turn back the time and reverse your biological age. You can do it. I absolutely know you can do it because I've done exactly the same thing. A year and a half ago, I was 6 years older than I am. Now I'm at least 10 years younger than I am. But I'm going for that 15 years because I know it's possible. So if you want to have it all, download the Have It All toolkit now at bookresources.thecarnivoreentrepreneur.com and get the frameworks that I've mentioned in this video and a load of other stuff as well. And feel free to message in and ask us any questions that you want. I know there's some great stuff in there. We also have, I think, free access to our AI assistant. So you can ask it as many questions as you like. I think that's a trial. So if you want to get it forever, then there will be a charge, but try it out. It's an amazing tool and it will give you some of the things just to get started with reversing that age and feeling a lot younger than you are today. Remember, most advice out there makes you weaker. The carnivore entrepreneur makes you unstoppable. And I want to help successful but stuck entrepreneurs reduce their biological age by 15 years at least 15 years, because it's going to help you be younger, be happier, and be richer. And that's what it's all about, having the strength, the energy, and the power to live life on your terms. So that's the end of this episode. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all on the next one. Take care. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. You are a carnivore entrepreneur. Live life how it was supposed to be lived on your terms with strength, energy, and purpose. I'll see you on the next episode.